my name is Ariz Shafi.
Yeah.
I like to call myself an entrepreneur. And I've been in Canada now 21 years.
Okay.
And I've been able to, in the 21 years, I've seen it all from working various jobs to building my own businesses. Started off from building a tutoring center.
Okay.
From there, got into building a marketing company, and then I worked alongside my uncle for his lighting stores. So there are a lot of different industries I got myself into and learned from there.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel Ariz Shafi today is this entrepreneur who started with nothing and was able to build something in this country.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what was the reason why you selected Canada? Like, why was Canada on your list and why did you come here?
So there's a funny story behind that. We actually never wanted to move out of India.
Okay.
Yeah, because we lived in Delhi. We had a great life there. There was nothing lacking there. However, my uncle was in the States, and he said to my mom that, for your kids' better education, you need to look into moving out of India and come to the States.
Oh, okay.
So about 20 years ago, getting immigration to the States was nearly impossible.
Yes.
So that's where Canada came into question.
Yeah.
And we applied, ended up getting it. And my mom actually, when we were getting letters for interviews and all that, my mom used to hide those letters. And she would just tell my uncle, oh, we didn't get it yet.
So hide those letters like for the Canadian immigration?
Yeah, because she never wanted to come here.
Oh my God.
Right?
Yeah.
But my uncle's like, no, this is for the future of your kids. You need to take that step.
Yeah.
And one way or another, back in 2004, we moved to this country. And within, I believe, our first year, it was our first year, we went back.
Oh, okay.
We hated Canada.
Oh my God. What part of Canada were you living in?
Brampton.
Oh,
Yeah, I've been in Brampton since the start. Brampton wasn't how Brampton is today.
Yeah.
It was a whole different city.
Okay.
Back then, there was one Indian grocery store in the entire city.
Okay.
And there was, I think, one Desi restaurant at that time. So, we ended up, because obviously when you're coming from a city where you're comfortable, everything is there, everything is done for you.
Yeah.
Right? You have someone driving a car for you. You have someone coming in, cleaning your clothes at home.
Yes. Okay.
Right? You never have to do any of that.
Yes.
And then you come to a new country and you're like, I have to do everything myself.
Yes.
And then my mom had trouble finding a job.
Yes.
And in Delhi, she had a very, very good job. So here, she ended up working in a factory.
Okay.
So going from having a very high position in the education field in India and coming here
Factory,
and working in a factory was like, she didn't want to do it. She's like, well, what's the reasoning? And we decided to go back. And when we went back, I joined my school back again.
Okay.
Cambridge and Srinivaspuri. I don't know if you're familiar with Delhi that much, but so I joined the school back and I realized, I'm not the smartest kid anymore because the education level here is more practical. In India, there's so much stuff they put into your mind.
Theory.
So I couldn't keep up.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what? I don't want to be here.
Just after living 1 year in Canada, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then my sister said the same thing. No, we want to go back.
Okay.
And then when we came back, the decision was made that this is where we're going to live and we'll figure out how we're going to do it, what we're going to do. And here we are.
Absolutely. So Ariz, were you guys well off in Delhi? Were you like, what would you say? Were you like a middle class family, upper class? What would you say?
We were middle class.
Okay.
We one thing about India is your houses are paid off.
Yes, for sure.
Right. So that monthly amount that you end up paying here for mortgages or rent, that's not there. So you have a lot more room to save.
Absolutely.
So when you look at that on a daily basis, you have more cash flow. Right. And that's where I would say the life was very comfortable.
Yes.
But then there's just so much going on there, and there's
Yes.
so much competition in that country
Yes.
that's why I guess people leave, and they're like, you know what, let's get better quality of life outside.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I presume that you've worked all different kind of jobs, everything, right?
Yeah.
Like today, to this day, I mean, like right now, you're driving a Maybach, and very luxury, people's dream car, right?
Yeah.
People look at it and imagine driving that themselves in a few years, but everybody wants the results, right? Everybody wants that Lambo, that Maybach, but that's an outcome. That's a result of a lot of hard work and
Yeah.
sacrifices. So, in your life after coming to Canada, what were some of those things that you had to sacrifice, or you had to put up with, or do certain kind of things that led you to this point? So, what would you say?
I think one of the biggest thing, and I say this to everybody, is you need to put your ego aside. Because coming from India, it doesn't matter if you come from a small part of the country or you come from the big major cities, you still have that, I can do whatever I want.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Here, there's rules.
Yeah.
And this country will bring you down to your knees. If you have ego in this country, it's very hard to build it up.
Okay.
And my first job, I still remember, I think it was on my 15th birthday. 16th birthday, because that's when I was legally allowed to work. And I was
Okay.
like, you know what, I want to work.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was always about, let me make money.
Yeah.
And on my 16th birthday, I asked my aunt, I'm like, get me a job. She was working for a distribution center, Indigo. She got me a job there.
Okay.
And Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I used to work there. Saturday, Sunday, I still remember I used to do 12-hour days.
Okay. As a 16-year-old.
As a 16-year-old.
Okay.
All week I was in school.
Yeah.
And then after that, what ended up happening is after school, I started working there too.
Ooh.
I started picking up more shifts.
Okay.
And I would finish my school at 3:30, I would start my job. And I would work till midnight.
So were you liking that job, or was it the money aspect that you were looking?
It was more of, it wasn't, I never liked that job.
Yeah.
Right? I'm lifting up boxes,
Absolutely.
I'm pushing forklifts. Nobody
Yeah.
likes that.
Okay.
Right? But it was more that I had the freedom then where, I had some money coming in. If I wanted to go buy a new phone, I wanted to go out with my friends, do something, I was able to.
Yeah.
And obviously, all the time, I was always about cars.
Yes.
So I wanted to buy my first car.
Yes.
But I didn't want to tell my mom, hey, can you pay me to buy
Absolutely.
my first car? So yeah, it was more of a money aspect at that time. And after that, I worked at Wonderland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That job, I personally feel, turned me into going from this young kid who was just working in a distribution center to, hey, you're able to do something more. I started there as an attendant, where when you enter Wonderland, there's those guys that are checking your tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I got a coordinator position for guest services. Loved that job because I was dealing with thousands and thousands of people every day.
Okay.
People complaining, people yelling at me, people throwing stuff at me.
Wow.
So all that is what shaped me into customer service.
Okay.
Because in a day, if you're dealing with 1,000 people, different conversations, different ethnicities, different everything.
Different problems. Yeah.
Different problems. Every next person is a different problem. And that's where I feel I started shining.
Yes.
Because my whole thing was, I want to figure out how I can help this person.
Yes.
And then from there, I ended up becoming, I think, assistant supervisor or supervisor there. And that was within, I think, 2 or 3 years. Every year I started getting promoted.
Yes.
And that builds confidence.
Absolutely.
Because you're like, okay, you know what? I'm doing something. Because when I was working at the distribution center, I got fired 7 times. They kept firing me. And
Yeah,
here I
yeah.
come and they telling me, hey, no, you're good at this.
Yeah.
Right? There it was more like, if you didn't pick up 100 books in 1 hour or something crazy like that, you're not meeting targets.
Yes.
I'm like, what am I, a machine?
Absolutely.
Right?
Treat
So
you like a robot.
you really do get treated like a robot, and it's not even the manager's fault. They're getting pressured by upper management.
Upper management.
So I was like, you know what, this is not for me. Wonderland, and after that was WestJet.
Okay.
WestJet again, it was just like promotions, 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 and then I didn't want to go towards management. I'm sure if I applied, I would have gotten that too, but I decided I want to become a flight attendant.
Okay.
I became a flight attendant, and that was, I think, the best 8 or 9 years of my life. I traveled everywhere.
So flight attendant as me means like you're in the plane, like
Yeah.
Talking and helping people,
Yeah.
passengers, and oh wow, I
Yeah.
didn't know that about you.
Yeah, and that was one of the best 7-8 years of my life.
Yes.
And yeah, after that, situation happened, and I decided, you know what, it's time that I walk away from the jobs, and I'm gonna start my own thing.
And what age were you at that time when you decided this?
This was 2019, so 26, 20, 25, 26.
25, 26 years
Yeah.
old. That's a threshold, right? A lot of people jump into the business world, or even like at 22, 23, people
Yeah.
decide that. Yeah, but Ariz, I mean, I've heard this saying a lot of times that being a police officer is a very nice job because you get a lot of exposure to people on a daily basis. So what a normal person is encountering in a month or 2 months, you're encountering that in a day. Fights, 15 people every day, dealing, managing. So you develop as a person by meeting with new strangers, by dealing with new consequences, problems, and everything. So I think that was a major part in your life as well, working in Wonderland and WestJet, that give you a lot of exposure on how to manage street and respect people and how to be good at what you do.
Yeah,
Right?
100%.
And that's one thing. And also I would like to ask, apart from all these jobs and the hard work that you did, what were some of the sacrifices that you had to make in your business world, or when you started your company, whether it be parting or departing from your old friends or bad habits, or if any?
It was, friends was a big sacrifice, because I've always been a social person. But when you're in high school, especially, or college, you always want to be out with your friends, because you leave the high school and you're out. I was going and working.
Yes.
So for me, it was, I didn't have the time to go out, always partying or always hanging around friends. I didn't have that, but even with that, I still made time for that genuine circle.
Yes.
And the crazy part about all that today is that same circle is still with me till today. But yeah, there were a lot, I would say probably hundreds of people who came into my life, and today they're not
And
around.
that genuine circle, are you talking about the North Face Rally group or some other people?
No, North Face Rally I got connected to just about 7-8 years ago.
Okay.
But I have another group of friends who all of us come from the same grind.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So-
everybody is doing good in their life.
Everyone's doing really good. My own best friend, he just picked up a Rolls Royce.
Oh wow.
And now when that happens with somebody who you saw, like he used to work at KFC,
Okay.
full of oil every night. We would meet up and he'd be full of oil, and we're eating fries or chicken, just whatever he brought back from work. When you see someone at that time and then you see them today after all those years of hard work, it just makes you feel good. You know what, we all came from nothing and we made something out of it.
Absolutely, because this definitely gives a lot of motivation and positive optimism to a lot of international students and immigrants that come here.
Yeah.
Because everybody at some stage of their life, even me, we've worked in those restaurants and those kind of jobs where we were sweaty, grimy, smelly, very bad.
Yeah.
But to hear that you can come out of that and become something and make something of yourself is a very nice thing.
Yeah.
So that leads me into asking you another very frequently asked question, and that is, do you think Canada is the same Canada what it was before, and is Canada still a land of opportunity for people to come looking for a better future?
So we all have our love and hate towards Canada.
Yeah.
There's days we'll all be like, you know what, why are we here?
Yeah.
Right? But I can never say that this country is not the land of opportunities. And that's because this country is the country that built me into the person I am today.
Yeah.
I don't know if, you know what, it's because of me, but I personally feel all the connections I've made in this country, everything I was presented here is the reason behind my success. So if I can do it, I'm not the smartest guy out there. I never got any like university degrees or anything like that. So if I can do it, anyone in Canada can do it. But it's about having your focus, having a mindset that, you know what, this is what I want to do, and this is where I'm gonna do it and how I'm gonna do it. That's what it is. When it comes down to Canada, there's so much out there right now. The country is half empty if you think about it.
Yeah.
Right? And there's only these little areas we focus on, but you have the entire country to focus on for growth. I've been to St. John's, Newfoundland. There's opportunities there. I've been to Halifax. There's opportunities there. I've lived in Calgary for a few months of my life. There's opportunities throughout. So one thing what I did when I was working for WestJet is I used to travel all over the country and in the States, and my goal was never like I would look for layovers, but my goal was never, hey, layover and go party there. No, my goal was, how do I connect with different businesses?
Yes.
How do I meet new people in those cities?
Yeah.
And that's what it is. So anywhere like Canada till today, if you can make the right connections, you can still grow in this country. 110%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, but a lot of people, they're confined. For example, they come to Brampton, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are confined to one place, Brampton. They never look out and never expand their horizons. So that, I think, is a big mistake that they do, right?
100%. And that's also because Brampton makes them feel comfortable.
Yes.
Brampton makes them feel that, you know what, we're still in India.
Yes.
As crazy as it sounds, Brampton has become this home away from home.
Yes.
And that's where we're all comfortable. But the moment you go out of Brampton, forget Brampton, even when you go out of GTA,
Yeah.
there's so many opportunities out there. Majority of my clients are actually out of GTA.
Yes.
In GTA, yeah, I do have few, but majority of the bigger clients that I have, they're all out of GTA.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Ariz, I have a fun question for you.
for sure.
So, what was your first car that you got? Because you said you were always into cars, right?
Yeah.
So, what was your first car, or a good car? You know, first you can tell me about like A to B car, and then what was the good ones?
My first car was a Pontiac Sunfire.
Okay.
A lot of people probably won't even know what that is. Yeah, I bought that car for $500.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like a dark red color car.
Yeah.
And I just bought it because I had $500.
Okay.
Never got insurance on it. I didn't have a license.
Oh.
I just wanted a car. So at that time, I used to live in the building, Knightsbridge, near Bramley City Center.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So somebody I knew was selling that car, and I'm like, I want to own a car. And this was when I was 16. So I ended up getting this car, and I used to drive it around just the parking lot.
Yeah.
And the downstairs parking lot. That's all I had that car for,
Yeah.
because I couldn't take it out. I had no plates on it, nothing. And being a 16-year-old, never really went to driving school or anything like that.
Yeah.
I hit that car.
You hit that car.
Yeah, in the parking lot, yeah.
Did you hit the car or somebody, or like?
No, I hit the wall.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Because that would
Yeah,
be
that would have
a
been,
nightmare.
yeah. And then the car just went to the junkyard.
Yeah.
That was it, yeah.
And then how did your car journey progress from there?
From there, I ended up picking up a Honda Prelude.
Okay.
From Honda Prelude, I got a Volkswagen Jetta. I got a Acura EL. Had a really bad accident in the Acura EL.
Okay.
Almost died. Yeah, the car was crushed. And then from there, I got I think it was a Toyota Camry. From the Toyota Camry, I got a Mercedes CLS.
Okay.
And after that, just the fun started.
Yeah.
After the CLS is where I got connected with North Face Rally.
Yeah.
Actually, no, before the CLS, I got an Infiniti G37 as well.
Okay.
Then that I got in an accident with. And then CLS came. After the CLS, i8 came, G-Wagon came, Corvette
Oh
came,
my God.
and then two other S-classes came,
Okay.
and then came the Maybach.
Oh my God.
Yeah. At one point, I had three cars. I used to have the white Corvette, white i8, and a white G-Wagon.
So you are definitely a big car person.
I love cars, and especially when you're in the circle of obviously North Face Rally, you see all of us.
Yeah.
It's always like, okay, yeah, now I'm driving this.
Yeah.
Now some other guy comes in and now he's driving something else, and now you're like, okay, this is a cool car. I want this too now.
Absolutely.
And then you just work hard towards getting it one day.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Ariz, do you think everybody in the world is cut out for success, wealth? What do you think?
I don't think so.
Why is that?
And reason behind that is I've seen a lot in my life where I've seen people who were given opportunities, who were literally handed opportunities on platters, and they went the other way. So I personally don't think everyone is cut out, but it's about how bad you want it, what your focus is, and where you want to go. Because like I always talk about this to my friends, there's people who are so focused on working jobs because they're so comfortable
Yes.
having that one paycheck come every 2 weeks,
Yes.
right? And then there's us
Yeah.
who are crazy.
Yeah.
I personally say it all the time, like business owners are crazy because I don't know by the end of the month will I have enough money to pay all the bills or not,
Yeah.
right? Because in business you don't know what hit is coming. By today I might get a bill where I'm like, oh shit,
Yeah.
right? You don't know if your clients are going to actually pay you by the end of the month. You don't know what they're going through. So there's a lot of risks you take. You invest a lot of money. You lose a lot of money in business. But at the end of the day, it's about, are you willing to go through all that health? Like, not even health, like you go through mental health, you go through ups and downs, you go through financial crisis, you go through all this stuff. Do you want to go through all this
Yeah.
just for that hope at the end that, you know what, I'm gonna make it? Yeah, some people are crazy who enjoy that stuff. Like for us, like for me, I enjoy that stuff,
Yes.
like figuring it out. How am I gonna do it? But a lot of people, they're okay being comfortable.
Yes.
They're like, hey, every 2 weeks I'm gonna get this guaranteed check. When I walk into work at 9 a.m. and I'm out at 5, I don't need to worry about anything.
Yes.
For me, it's not like that. I'm getting calls at midnight.
24 hours.
I'm getting calls at 4 in the morning. Hey, my website went down. Hey, this happened, that happened. So I gotta be working 24 hours. And that is the biggest hit that you go through as a business owner because you don't have timings.
Yes.
So is everyone cut out for that? No, absolutely not.
Absolutely. No, that pretty much answers all, sums up my question here, because
Yeah.
a lot of people, they see the shiny objects and they see the life, but there's a different side of that coin as well where a lot of people don't make it.
Mhm.
I'm not putting any negative thoughts in anybody's
No.
mind, but that's the reality.
Yep.
So if you're willing to take all the punches and even then you're optimistic and positive and you deal with all your customers with your heart and show the service,
Yeah.
then you are cut out.
Mhm.
But if not, and if you falter and take out anger on somebody, and that's you just broke
You're
your 5
done.
years of trust.
Yep. That's exactly it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So Ariz, like, what are some of your daily habits? Like, if we talk about day in the life of Ariz Shafi,
Mhm.
so what would that look like when, or are there any differences when you were grinding to come up to this level, or even to this day? Are there any differences, or is it the same? And can you walk us through what your day in the life looks like?
So when I was in my grind phase,
Yeah.
my attitude, my mindset was different from what it is now. And at that time I was working, I would say 18 to 20 hour days. Yeah,
Sleeping 4 hours.
sleeping 4 hours because I used to work out Wonderland from, I think I used to start at 9:30 a.m. and I would work till no, not yeah, no, 10. 10 I would start at Wonderland and I would work till 6 or something like that, and then I would start at WestJet at night as well.
Yes.
It was something along those lines. I don't remember the exact times. I remember at WestJet, I used to start my shift at 3 in the morning and I would finish at 9. And then at 9, I would leave from WestJet, change in my car, and get to Wonderland at 10, and then run that entire thing
Again and again.
again and again every single day. There was a time I was driving and my eyes were closing.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's, you just gotta do it at that
Absolutely.
time, and I feel like all that shaped me into the person I am today. Now when it comes down to my habits now yes, I have a lot more comfort in terms of, like, I still have time. I still try to wake up as early as possible. I try to be in my office by 8 a.m. because it's just always been somebody or somewhere I heard this, that always be the first one in your office.
Yes.
Whether you're working there or you're a boss, be the first one. So I try to always, in my building, I always try to be the first one. And the way I do it is the first parking spot, it's either me or there's one other lady. We always fight for that parking spot.
You guys are like,
Yeah, because I always want to be that first person. So, yeah. And apart from that, when I get to the office, it's I always listen to a podcast
every day.
every day. I listen to something different. I listen to a different marketing person, and it's just something that's playing in the background while I'm checking my emails.
Second-hand knowledge. You're just getting it.
I just
even
have
by
it on my
accident.
TV, is just going.
Yeah.
And certain points I'll listen to and I'm like, okay,
Got it.
this, that. Like, especially right now, AI is changing the world.
Yes.
So I'm always listening into, okay, this is what's going on. And I don't listen to, like, hey, this guy is super famous, I'm listening to that. No, I'll put in a topic and then I'm focusing on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, this when you started your business, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you started the first business, what was your mindset? What was the driving factor, and what was your why? Was it money? Was it security, freedom?
Mm-hmm.
How even to this day, what's your why? What are you? Sorry. Why are you working so hard? And what's your why behind everything that you do?
So I come from a family where I never had my dad.
Okay.
So my why has always been my mother, because she obviously gave us everything possible in our lives. And when I started my first business, she still laughs at it till today, that I used to tell her, I'll retire you early.
Yeah.
I'll retire you early.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I don't want you to retire. Right? But at that time,
Yeah.
it was more like, you know what, I want to grind early.
Yeah.
And I wanted to retire myself by 30. No, everyone around that age is like, I want to be retired by 30. So I used to have the same thing. And one of the big things that opened my eyes was she used to work for a tutoring center. And I started learning about how much money a business makes. And that's where I'm like, you know what? Why is it that we can't do this ourselves? And then people were like, just buy a franchise. We didn't have the money to.
Yes.
So, like, you know what? We're going to start this ourselves.
Yes.
And my mom started tutoring in the basement. And from there, we ended up opening our first location. And I didn't know anything about business at that time. My uncle was someone who was guiding us. But even then, there's so many things you don't know. You don't know what the unit you just got, you signed your lease for,
Yes.
is it zoned
Yeah.
to be a tutoring center?
Yeah.
We didn't know how that worked.
Yes.
You need a business license. then you need an occupancy permit. So you can get a business license, but to be in there, you need an occupancy permit.
Wow.
None of this stuff made sense to me.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, I just signed the lease. This is my unit now. Why do I need all these? And that's where like you're going through the city, you're paying all these people just to get permits approved.
Yes.
And it was all a learning process, but the grind was there. And that tutoring center, I still remember I brought it to a break-even point within, I think, 2 months, 2 or 3 months. Yeah. And that
Very fast.
that was one of the fastest.
Yes.
Yeah, that was insane. I still remember we were packed. I had people signed up before we opened our doors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, you said your mother was a big why for everything
100%.
that you do, even to this day.
Yeah.
I have the same thing because my father, he lives in Japan, and mother, father, they're together, everything is good, but he's been living there for over 25 years now, and we have a restaurant there, everything is okay, but mostly we have lived with our mother and occasionally see our father. So I really relate to what you're saying, but I have a follow-up question on that. Like, we have our why as our mother, and maybe sometimes, did you falter? Did you had some negative thoughts? Did you had some negative days? I mean, like some hours where you were, not that focused.
Yeah.
Did you feel guilty about it? How did you overcome those?
There have been times where I have been so frustrated in my own business.
Yes.
Where I'm like, you know what, I'm done.
Yeah.
No, I'll just go. With all my experience, I'm sure any big company will take me right now.
Yes.
And let me just go work a job. Every month I'll get a check and I'm good.
Yes.
But then you come back and you're like, do you really want somebody telling you what to do every day? After living a life where you are now responsible for all the staff you have.
Yes.
Right? Now, if I was to leave today and I was to say, hey, you know what? I'm shutting Let's Market down. Yeah. Other marketing companies are going to be very happy, but all the employees that I have,
You're paying, you're feeding the family.
I'm feeding families.
Yes.
And now that is a lot of pressure on me every single month, because if they're not paid, I don't know how their families are going to survive or what it is, right? Because you don't personally know everyone's situation, what's going on in their house.
Yes.
So for me, my why to grind and to come to this level has always been my mother, but now I have the responsibility of 15 families.
Okay.
I have the responsibility of my wife. So then you start getting all these responsibilities which push you now to do more.
Yeah.
And that's why like now I'm looking into acquiring different businesses.
Yeah.
Just for that. Because if it was just for me, I think I'm doing okay.
Yes.
And what I'm earning, I don't think I really need anything more. But it's these things that happen in life after as you grow that you're like, okay, now I'm not working for me anymore. Now you gotta work for those guys who daily are putting in so much work for your company.
Absolutely.
And then
Ariz, we have some quick questions for you.
For sure.
Very fun.
Let's do it.
This is an amazing podcast we're having here. Have some rapid fire questions.
Let's do it.
Okay. You definitely are a very knowledgeable person. I feel so. You have the experience of life, everything.
That's it, yeah.
So, do you believe in faith?
Yes.
So, how important has faith been for you in your life and your journey?
A lot, because that's who you go back to when you've lost all hope. That's where you're like, you know what? There's a superpower out there.
Yes.
And that power is gonna figure it out. If I can't figure it out, that power is gonna figure it out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you pray? With clean? Definitely clean intention. But do you pray with some intent from God? Like, do you ever pray like that? Like, God, I wish for this, or how does your prayer look like?
Always, because this was somebody told me this. They're like, if you don't ask, you're not gonna get it.
Yeah.
So, and if you are able to ask your parents for stuff, right? you should go crazy asking the superpower
Yeah.
for anything and everything in life.
Yes.
And every time I pray, it's always like I talk about health of my family. I talk about my health. I talk about well-being, the love between the family. But I always say, hey, my business is doing good. Thank you so much for all this. But
Let's make more.
help
Let's
me
get-
grow to the next level. Help me
Absolutely.
get another venture going and help me grow that venture as well.
Absolutely. I heard somewhere there's a person I listen to, follow him. He said that I always ask to Allah. I asked for Him to make me capable of those things. Like, please, God, make me capable of handling all of that.
Yep.
So amazing. Ariz, like, what are your top 3 books?
Think and Grow Rich.
Okay.
So that's always been my number 1, number 2,
Yes.
number 3 too. But
Oh, really?
then there's another one. Actually, I read a lot of books by Robert Kiyosaki as well.
Okay.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Okay.
And the original Rich Dad, Poor Dad was a book I related to quite a bit,
Okay.
just because of how he put that entire story out there about his rich dad and poor dad.
Yes.
So those are I would say, like, if I can just think off the top of my head, I wouldn't even put a third one.
Rich Dad Poor Dad and Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich. Yeah.
Amazing books.
Yeah.
Love them.
Yeah.
So Ariz, do you think people intentionally every person is a good person? Do you believe that, or what do you think about people trust and everything like that?
I believe everyone's a good person, but it's situations that they go through and assumptions that get made, which turn them into acting a certain way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you ever be honest?
Yeah.
Do you ever judge people? Do you ever judge people by their first look? Like looking
I do.
at it? You-
I always do. My wife laughs at it all the time.
That's very honest.
Yeah, because she says it. Because I used to tell her, I'm like, I never judge anyone. She's like, you look at a person and the way they dress,
Yeah.
you're judging them already. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of people to look good, to be politically correct, they no, never judge. But
Yeah.
as human beings, we do.
We always do. I don't think I've met anyone who doesn't judge.
Absolutely.
Everyone judges. They're just better at hiding it. Yeah.
Great. Okay, Ari, what are some of the things that you're proud of about yourself? What are some of the things that you're most proud of? Your habits, something, your word, can be anything.
That I am willing to grind at any time. I'm willing to put in the work. For me, sleep comes second. As far as my eyes are open, I'm willing to grind. And that's why, like, at this time, I just took over a business where I know that from working at Let's Market all day, I'm gonna end up adding another 8 to 10 hours on top of that on my day. But I'm willing to put in that work. I'm willing to grind. And I don't know, I hate the word tired. I've always hated the word tired.
Yes.
Even if there's times my legs are hurting and I have a headache, it's
What do you say to yourself at those times when, like,
take a Tylenol, stop crying,
Okay.
and get to work. Because otherwise, somebody else is out there who's gonna outwork you.
Great.
That's
A
literally
lot of
it.
people need to hear that because
Yeah.
they would grind all day at their jobs, their boss is hitting them with a whip, they will. But
Yeah.
when it comes to their own health, mentality, fitness, business, they just take a chill pill.
Yeah.
That's
Like-
really good.
One of the things I wish I was better at was my health.
Yeah.
Right? It was actually going out to the gym. My friends, everyone is always yelling at me about it. Like, about time you joined the gym, but I'm always working. But that's a balance that's very important, and I've been trying to push towards it. I will, hopefully.
Definitely,
So, yeah.
definitely. Ariz, you've been with a lot of heavy hitters. You've been with millionaires, multi-millionaires, maybe billionaires, I don't know. But you've been in the room with like crazy big people, like wealthy, influential people. What are some of the habits that you can share with our audience, with me, that we can learn from, like what those people are doing differently than what the normal people are doing?
Every multi-millionaire that I've been around, one thing I've noticed is they keep a very close circle, but this circle is a circle of value. And on top of that, they're very humble. they they might seem like, oh, arrogant, this and that. No, when you get to know these people, they're all very humble, and all their conversations are around business. Majority of their conversations is, hey, okay, yeah, you're working towards this. Why don't you do it this way to make it better? Why don't you do this to make it better? I'll give you an example. For example, I'm in tour.
Yes.
So a few years ago, right before COVID, my business, Let's Market, was taking a hit. I didn't know how I'm gonna make things work, and at that time I already had expenses.
Yes.
Right, you get a car, this and that, but I was taking a hit. And at that time he gave me an advice. He's like, why don't you get into a wedding industry?
Wedding.
Yeah.
Okay.
What am I gonna do? He's like, you're good at taking pictures, and just build a team and start shooting weddings. And I did that for 2 years of my life, and that brought me back on my feet.
Okay.
And in the wedding industry, I was shooting, I think I was doing like 30 to 40 weddings a year.
Wow.
Yeah, I was pushing. I was taking any gig I was getting. And I built a team at that time, but then just certain things happened, and I decided, you know what, I don't want to be in this industry anymore. Because for me, it's not about money, it's about my respect.
Yeah.
And if somebody's trusting me with the end product, and my team or somebody cannot deliver that end product, I'm not going to put my name behind it. So
that's amazing.
So I left the entire
Amazing
industry.
advice.
Yeah.
Amazing. So you said that a lot of these people, and one more follow-up question on that, because I've been in the room with good people, and I've also been in the room with normal, like general public. I see a lot of differences. I see people complaining, being negative, arguing over petty things, and not focusing on what actually their goal is. And I've seen people over here in the rich circle, successful people, always, I never see them complain.
No.
I'll be honest with you. I never see them complain. I never see them saying something negative about somebody behind their back. And I always see them moving forward, goal-oriented, happy, optimist, pushing everybody else around them. And if you're not keeping up with them, they just kick you out or they leave you. And because they don't want to invest energy in dragging people who don't want to be.
Energy is a thing a lot of us don't put enough focus on. When you're around negative energy, it actually drains you. If you're around someone who's always complaining about, I don't have money, oh, my boss said this, oh, this person said this, oh, I don't feel good today. When you keep hearing that, you as a positive person is gonna start getting mentally drained, and either you're gonna get pushed towards this negative energy, where now you become a negative person, or you're gonna be like, you know what, I'm fed up with this person, I don't want to be around this person, and you end up just going your own way. And for me, it's always been, no matter the situation, no matter how bad the situation gets, just figure out a way to make it work and just be positive. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, even in the COVID time, as you said, your business was taking a hit, the marketing industry.
Yeah.
But you talked with right people and you figured it out on how you can survive and how you can stay afloat.
Yeah.
And you grinded and you made it work.
Majority of the wedding industry guys, obviously they want to follow the rules. I didn't care about rules.
Yeah.
Right? They all stopped shooting weddings.
Yes.
I was like, okay, that's
more for me.
Yeah, more for me. I put a mask on, put gloves on, and I was out shooting weddings.
Absolutely.
If people are still willing to get married,
I'm there.
I don't care. Like, like if you want to follow the rules, cool. You can go follow the rules and sit at home and make no money.
Yeah.
If I'm out there and I'm one of the only companies out there who's willing to take the risk, and some people are like, you're risking your life. Okay, cool. Will I have money to put food on my table? Yes. That's it.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah. What advice would you give yourself when you were starting out in Canada, Wonderland or WestJet as a kid, 16-year-old kid? I mean, How old are you, Ariz?
I'm 33 now.
33.
Yeah.
So, as a 16-year-old, what would you say to him back then to even speed up the process, or would you even like to speed up the process, or what mistakes, if any, did you make? So, what would be your 1 or 2 minutes with that kid be that could change his life?
Don't think these cool kids are the kids you want to be around. You want to figure out what you enjoy doing in life as early as possible and put full force towards it. It's, yeah, you can be out for dinners, you can be out hanging around in plazas with your friends, but that's not building you as a person. So my advice, I give that to even my younger cousins, like at your age, in today's day and age, you have so much power to start something on the side and learn from it, deal with people. And that will shape you into becoming this person, this personality that other people will be attracted to. Whether you go work a job after, whether you start a business, whatever it is, just build connections and do it in a way that people are able to trust you. And that's literally it. It's not about, like, everyone wants to speed up processes, but when you go through the grind, the fun is there. But
Yes.
in that grind, you learn so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Ariz, last question for me today.
Yeah.
And I would just like to ask you, this is a very deep question, close to my heart as well, close to a lot of people's heart.
Yeah.
You drive a Maybach. You drive people's dream car. People look at it, they even after looking at it, they get excited and they want to take pictures. Driving a Maybach, how does it change you? Is money a vibration? Is money a certain kind of vibration that you feel? And what are some of the advice, or what are some of the things that you can tell people about so that they can acquire that asset in future for themselves as well?
See, if you look at the Maybach, I'm probably one of the only persons in the world that loads up the Maybach with boxes. And so, does money change people? It does, but you also gotta have a fine line between arrogance and just being thankful. So for me, when I'm driving this car, I'm thankful. When I look at that steering wheel and it says Maybach on it, I'm thankful that, you know what, I was able to achieve this. Would I have been able to do this when I was in India? I don't know, right? And today, actually, the Prime Minister of India has a Maybach.
Okay.
And I have a Maybach.
Oh my God.
Right? So I always laugh about that. And I'm like, I'm driving the same car
Yes.
that a Prime Minister
Of a country. Yes.
of a country is driving. And I treat it like
Yeah.
just any other car. So the car, I personally don't think changes you. But money does change you, but it's in a way that you're able to enter circles you wouldn't have been able to before. The way you talk, all that changes with those circles that you're around. Yeah. So yeah, no, I don't think the car is a big deal. People look at it, people respect you a little more because of the car, but that's about it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Before leaving, what advice would you give me as a person?
Keep your focus on the end goal. Always remember why you're doing what you're doing. Have a number in your mind that, hey, this is a number I want to achieve every month. You got 30 days. Figure out how to get to that number every month. And once you do that, then you know what, you achieve that number. Let's say you achieve it in a month, you achieve it in 6 months. After those 6 months, you look back what you did. Now, how can you speed that up to double this number?
Okay.
But don't always just chase after the monetary value of things. Focus on becoming the person that people are going to be genuinely attracted to, who would want to learn from you and see you as this leader in the industry. Like, you're doing an amazing job on your social media. Like, I haven't been able to ever do that, right? So you're already on the right path. Now just genuinely help other businesses, get them to these numbers, and it's all up from there for you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming.
No
Ariz,
problem, brother.
today. This is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It can be life changing for a lot of people.
So,
Because I met you a long time, I mean a month or 2 months ago, and the energy I felt from you was always being humble, being willing to give, and whatever you're doing, you do it with passion, and that's why you're always willing to give more than what you're asked for.
yeah.
So that's a pleasure for everyone watching and me as well. Thank you so much for coming.
No problem, brother. Anytime.